people wanted that. So really,
I look very nervous.
Key things I want people to understand.
And I dressed equally as badly as I do now. This was, wow, roughly 10 years ago. I was in San Francisco. I just started my first company. And this might have been like one of the first interviews I ever did. And I think you can tell by how profusely I'm sweating in the video that I was pretty nervous doing it. One of the things I learned that's, I think, a very hard won lesson that any entrepreneur learns is the power of narrative, of being able to tell something, make your problem, the things that inspire you, make people feel that and have that resonate with them for all sorts of reasons, to work with you, to work for you, to buy your product, to invest in your business. And I struggled with that, I think, at the very beginning of starting my first company. Meaning the problem I was solving was so obvious to me and it was so immediate. And I had this inability to have other people see that. That's actually one of the hardest things, I think, for entrepreneurs to learn, which is you have to somehow make what you're feeling and what you care about and the opportunity that you see translate and then resonate. And I think that is something that fortunately I did figure it out, identified, but at the very beginning I couldn't. And it was hard. We struggled to raise money, we struggled to hire talent, we struggled to get customers. They have to believe that the problem you're solving is big, it's important, and that there's something unique about the way that your company, your business, is solving it. And if they don't feel that, and I use the word feel, not hear, like if they don't feel that, they won't be a part of it, And I think as I've grown as an entrepreneur, I've learned the power of developing and refining a narrative that doesn't just inspire me, but inspires others. And so I think this video brings me back to a time when I couldn't do that at all, and how much I learned from that inability and how much that informs where I am now. Totally, it totally does. And one of the things that I think is now being talked about is just like how mentally and emotionally and even physically taxing starting a company is. Like at this point in my life, probably when this video was made, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating well, I was exhausted, I was tired, we were running out of money, nothing was working. It was this just black hole of never-ending problems. And that's really challenging. It's easy to forget about that. It does give you an empathy for people that care so much about one particular problem that they're willing to sacrifice so many other dimensions of their life to pursue it. And I think it's exciting. Entrepreneurship has always been this exciting thing because the outcomes we all celebrate are mythologized. It has this kind of sheen of inevitability on it, that of course this company was going to be successful. But in reality, most entrepreneurs never experience that certainty. Instead, they live through uncertainty, perhaps profound amounts of it for very long periods of time that had very real-world consequences on their life, their friends, their family, their significant others, their health. And it's something that isn't talked about a lot. I think now it is, but it makes me not so much nostalgic, but it makes you appreciative of the sacrifices that entrepreneurs make to develop solutions to hopefully make the world a better place. Trust your instincts more. I think when I started Identified, my first company, right out of business school, myself and my co-founder were asking everyone for advice. And the reality is it's all conflicting, and so you kind of end up with this soup of ideas about how you should do your business, manage your business, grow your business, hire people, whatever it is. And the reality is most of those insights are just what made them successful. And a lot of what I did in the early days of starting Identified was trust those insights more than my own intuition about what we should do. And I think as we grew, I started to trust my own intuition. And it wasn't that I was rejecting other people's advice, it's that it wasn't taken as gospel. And so I didn't know that. I thought there was a formula. I thought if you read enough books and you ask enough people what to do, you will know the right thing to do. And in so doing, that came at the expense of putting trust in the intuition that I actually had as an entrepreneur, and I think every entrepreneur actually has.